Australia's energy market operator has warned South Australia and Victoria in particular could see blackouts as El Nino arrives this summer, hot, dry conditions. It points to delays in renewable projects and coal-fired power becoming more unreliable. AEMO boss Daniel Westerman says it underscores the need for clarity for investors in renewables, urging Australians to be alert but not alarmed. Jenny, Energy Minister Chris Bowen insists he is working to ensure the power grid is stable amid these warnings. The reality is, though, there's an enormous pipeline of renewable investment, but few projects have been delivered due to red tape, costs and tight labour markets. It doesn't look good for the summer, does it?
Well, this is an important report from AEMO, and it's one that they put out every year. And the purpose of the report, of course, is to alert investors to the opportunities that exist for investments that will support the grid and will support the operation of the national electricity market. You're right that we have a big task to climb. We have many ageing assets, particularly coal-fired assets, that are coming to the end of their life and will need to be replaced. And over the life of the last government, 4 gigawatts of dispatchable capacity left the electricity system and only 1 was brought on. So we've got a lot of catching up to do. The uncertainty that was a result of the Coalition's inability to land an energy policy in their last period of government has produced a situation where we need to work with a level of focus to bring stability back to this market. But let's be, I think, clear about what the AEMO is telling us in the report. They're saying, yes, that there are reliability risks, but they are, of course, and appropriately, very conservative in the way that they describe those risks. They're also saying that should the government's plans and programs come to fruition in the way that they've been described and on the timetable, that these will go a very long way to mitigating any of the risks that are described in the report over the medium term.
Jane, she has a point there. The Coalition knew coal-fired power stations were reaching their shelf life. 10 years of relative inaction on energy policy while the Coalition was in power. Is it coming home to roost?
And now what the decisions that this government is making, particularly around their ideological opposition to gas that would support renewables, the transition to renewables, that's really what's causing the problem here. This AEMO report is a pretty dire warning. And if it's out there for investors, Jenny, I think that investors should be more frightened about the fact that your government has actually turned them away, particularly from that gas market, by a combination of things like price caps, the safeguard mechanism, now the PRRT, all these things that are piling on into the gas market that are essentially turning investors away. Now, we know that you have to have a secure baseload power in order to support that transition to renewables. But if you rush headlong into an ideological, tsunami of renewables, well, of course the grid is going to be unstable. And quite frankly, if Australians feel like that their electricity bills have already skyrocketed, and let's remember that they are at record highs under this government, imagine what your electricity bills are going to be like when we get that $100 billion bill for 28,000 kilometres of new poles and wires right around the country.